Patricia, we are making progress. And now we move to the second phase. Those who have talked, come down. And we bring in more people. There are more people down there who have come on the platform. Mr. Cash wants to speak. But it doesn't mean you go away. We might bring you back when you see the point that you want to make. Thank you very much for allowing us. But meanwhile, while you are here, please tag each other. Tag each other, like each other. Retreat more, and so that we get more people next time. Sonny, you have been on the microphone for a long time. Can you come down and I will bring somebody? But it's okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We started very well. We started Qatar has destabilized several countries in Africa with their charming money issues. Now
so
we are the second. Yes.
What I was proposing, Dr. Matsanga, we've heard from Edwin and Truth. I'd like to give our new speakers an opportunity. Sorry, guys, but you will come in, and son of Kenzie, you will come in. We just want to make sure everybody's voice is heard and that it's an unbiased discussion that we're having. So we're going to go with Lukwago. I know you came to the space earlier, but you left us for some reason. And then we'll proceed with Golden and Cash and Dulon, and not Golide. So in that order, Lukwago, Golden, Cash, and Dulon, and then not Golide will end that session of new speakers, and then we'll go back to our old speakers. Thank you. Lukwago, please go ahead.
Thank you. Am I audible? Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. Actually, Dr. Qatar and Al Jazeera are being used by USA actually to cause mayhem in Africa. Okay? And they are so effective in the countries where there are mineral resources. Now, that investigative report came up with, maybe they resolved to come up with such an investigative report simply because Zimbabwe gave gold rights to either China or Russia. Here, when we had just concluded the 2021 elections, they put a lot of pressure on Mr. Museveni. They would always ask him to account for the 57, the so-called 57 Ugandans who were killed by security operatives. Then Mr. Museveni reacted actually by announcing gold deposits worth millions of dollars. Ever since then, they have never actually asked him to account for those Ugandans who were killed. So, they might be interested in that gold, and they are devising ways of actually over the president of Zimbabwe, giving them also a portion. But it seems like Mr. Mnangagwa is not giving them what? A portion. So, they are not doing it for the interests of Africans. No, for their own selfish interest. But how I wish African leaders can sit down and they also come up with a television of Al Jazeera like that can front Africa's interests. A radio of BBC like that can front African culture from that Pan-African perspective, where we should focus more on our culture. Okay? But the kind of leaders we have, I don't know what is the problem with them. Because China is developing simply because it has respect for its culture. But it is in Uganda where you see Ugandans adapting Western culture. They even forge accent. Someone who went to to USA in 2015, while like 20 years, comes back to Uganda when he cannot even pronounce Ugandan words very well. Forging accent will not help you. Okay? If we focus, so now let the president of Zimbabwe pay the price. Provided the money they are getting from such resources, they use it to invest in a television for Africa. We will be actually talking about Al Jazeera report. It would be bank. It would be bank that Al Jazeera report. Actually, there is a certain president, I've forgotten him, who was like about to bomb that Doha office where Al Jazeera is for misinforming the world. I've forgotten that president, but it was like you, if you don't drop that misinformation, I'm going to actually to eat you with a bomb. So, Doctor, as I conclude, because I just wanted to learn, but I've been forced also to say something. Al Jazeera, BBC, DW, it's high time you Africans must think of actually coming up with such televisions, with coming up with radio station televisions that must react the way those international medias are portraying Africa to those Western powers actually that have turned Africa as their battlefield simply because of its minerals. European Union ever since then has never held Mr. Museveni accountable for the 57 Ugandans who were murdered in the 2021 elections, simply because he made one statement that I have a lot of gold deposits. Thank you so much, Dr. Matsanga, and you.
Thank you very much, Lukwago. And as Stella is here listening, Madam, our Stella, our sister is here who has suffered. She suffered a lot, and I hope she's going through quite a lot of things. And we pray for you all the time. Some of us have not spoken much to you, but we pray for you every time, Stella, wherever you are, because of the courageous words that you stand up to speak for millions who might not be able to speak and who might not be able to say what you have said. And you did study the same subject that I studied, so we are more or less on the same level, and I'm very happy when I see you on this platform. At least you pick up a few things, errors, and that is how politics is. And I'm very happy every time whenever I could see you stand up to speak. I am very, 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 I look at this is courageous, and that is a spirit that some of us had from 1982. We have been speaking 85. We have been speaking about one party state in our country. And Lukwago, you take it from there. Thank you very much. Now, Edwin, you say you want to go to sleep, but just what did you want to say before I come to the people that Madam Miss Trisha has chosen already? Edwin, what is your point, sir?
Doctor, thank you so much. My only concern is very simple and straightforward. We keep debating about the West, but how our neighbors have wronged us, rather than focusing on what do we have internally as a family, as Africa. Rwanda went to Central Africa amidst the UN protocols of peacekeeping. Rwanda came up with an arrangement with Central Africa. that was out of the UN peace and deployed another extra force for fixing and monitoring the election. Everything went well, something successful. No Western media is going to tell you that. Unfortunately, not even many African media is going to tell you that. So, are we going to sit down and rant? We rant over our own minerals that we have the right to sell, irrespective of how we sell them, because our only our God-given minerals are made to make us survive, irrespective of other opportunities we don't have. So, how we sell them, if it pisses off someone else, well, let them go F themselves. But let's look at what we have, how we can promote it, the best we can hold on each other, rather than taking ourselves down, who is fighting each other. Then we go to report to the Western media that this and this person is doing this and this and this and this. We keep our internal fights inside. We go outside as one family. The moment we figure that out as Africa is the moment we are going to step out as a strong continent. If that doesn't happen, then we are bound to a big fall. I land.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is midnight here where I am, and it is 1 o'clock in Nairobi. It is 11 o'clock in Zimbabwe. We need to speed up and finish. This is a very crucial debate. You have made very good points. Now I will limit each and every speaker to 1 minute, because we want as many people to speak and finish, at least make a contribution. Rebuttals will not be allowed for now. If there is extra time at the end, you notice it's 1 o'clock in Nairobi. It is 9 o'clock here. Sorry, in almost 10 o'clock. Sorry, I can see 10 o'clock in London where I am at the moment. We need to make our points short and we move on. So 1 minute, teacher. We shall. Who was going next? NO. Let's start up here. NO.
Okay.
Dwellon.
Huh?
And who is this person?
Sorry.
Temba Kurumo Kube.
And Cash
And Akash.
and
Then
Bertha.
we finish with Bath Moyo. Is it Bath? Bath Mazora?
That's
Bath
Bertha Monzari.
Beth Mazora, yes. Let's have more ladies coming. Maybe they talk, they have seen something that they want to tell us. And or
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the space and thanks for the opportunity. Thanks to everyone else on the space. As I come in as an individual. I come in as a Zimbabwean. I don't speak for anyone, but I speak for myself as an individual. You know, the thing is, the way how I see things in Africa, we are where we are because of who we are and because we make ourselves, or we create our own future, basing on the lives that we build on. We can never build anything if we lie to each other. We can only progress, we can only move forward, we can only have a better future if we tell each other the truth. Looking at the Al Jazeera document, they may have their own intentions. I don't deny that. But Who gave them that right, that opportunity to come in? Who were they talking to? Were they not talking to the Zimbabweans? And whatever has been happening with the gold that is being sold, yes, they can sell the gold anyway, but shouldn't the rules be followed? How do you sell gold by sending the white people that you always blame every day for the ills of the country? Yet they are the ones who are the runners who are running with the gold to sell in Dubai. They are carrying gold in suitcases. Where have you heard of that? That gold is kept in suitcases. Gold of a country. All you are saying as Zimbabwean is the rules have to be followed. Follow the rules. Sell the gold. No one will stop you. But not in the black market. Because in the black market, not washing money, dirty money, that is coming in. So can I finish? Sorry?
I just said prepare to land. Your minute is up.
Okay.
Prepare to land.
Okay, I'll prepare to land shortly. The dirty money that is coming in, it doesn't benefit us as a nation. And the gold that is being sold outside the country is not even benefiting the country as a whole. The hospitals are an eyesore. The infrastructure is dilapidated. The roads are potholed all over. Our infrastructure is dead. Look at the roads in the cities, in the rural areas. Some of them are impassable. We don't have bridges. That tax that was supposed to be paid from the proceeds is the money that is supposed to build that infrastructure. That's all we are saying. That's what Al Jazeera highlighted. That's what we see. We know they may have their own agenda, but what we are seeing, something is wrong that needs to be fixed in the country, not anywhere else. Thank you.
I believe if everybody's watched the documentary, Al Jazeera is alleging that the gold is sold within Zimbabwe. So your allegations of this gold being sold outside of Zimbabwe, I don't know. But thank you for your contribution. We're going to move over to Cash. Cash, please, if you'll give us your contribution, then we'll have Dulon and then Temba with Bertha finishing off that round of speakers. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, the host, co-hosts, for allowing me this opportunity to just contribute a little bit. I don't represent anybody. I don't represent any party or any organization. I'm just speaking as a Zimbabwean, right? The topic is saying is that Al Jazeera using tools to destabilize Africa. Of course, wherever you go, there are always external forces. Even in your family, let's look in a family's settings, mother and father and children. Outside, there are forces that you have to fight for the family not to break up. So my question is Africa stable? Okay? If the West is trying to attack us, how do we defend ourselves? And looking at the documentary, is everybody saying, but we still have 3 parts to come. That was the first episode. Did the Al Jazeera created those characters in the documentary? Did they tell them, sit here, say this, clip them before they turn on the cameras, or that was something prompt? So as you look at the whatever was happening, the money thing, the gold thing, this is not only happening in Zimbabwe. Let's look at Africa as a whole. This could be a tip of an iceberg, how the whites are coming to Africa and how few individuals in African countries, not only Zimbabwe, are benefiting whilst the whole population of Africa is starving. That's the big picture here. We could start with Zimbabwe, and then every country has to look in itself, whatever they're producing, diamonds or copper, whatever, and see, is there any illegal things that are happening in their own country? So this is an eye-opener. Let's just not focus on Zimbabwe, but this is an eye-opener starting from South Africa all the way to Egypt. I don't know, Egypt, whatever, Sudan. What's going on in Africa? Are we all stable so that we can resist the forces from outside, or are we already fragmented and these guys are coming in and take advantage of the situation that's already there? So that's the question I have to ask. But the truth is, Al Jazeera has also opened our eyes what's going on. I'm a Zimbabwean. I didn't know what's going on, but at least even if they have their own ulterior motives, but they actually put out something, we have to see a positive in that documentary. They might be negative, but we have to also see a positive. What did they do? They've opened African countries to actually look in their own countries, whatever they are producing, whether they're getting played by the Europeans or where, it's not about diamonds or gold. It could be oil, could be actually tobacco, whatever. Are they actually negotiating the good prices? Or they're actually people, mafias who are running all those resources? I'm done. I'm done.
Thank you, Julan. We'll move on to you, and then we'll have Temba speak with Bertha and Mayubuya finishing that round of speakers.
Thank you so much, Trisha. Hi, everyone. My name is Dylan Africa. I'm from South Africa. I don't represent anyone here, but yeah, I represent the whole of Africa, seeing that my last name is Africa. But anyway, I'm just gonna get to my point. Personally, I have learned a lot over the past 4 years. I spent some time in Syria in 2016 and 2017 during the war. I was on the border of Syria and Turkey, but I'll explain how that relates to what I'm about to say. I've realized that Africa is the engine of the world while I was living in the Middle East. The difference between the Middle East and Africa is that the Middle East has not given up power as what Africa has to colonization, right? Hence why there's so much war in the Middle East right now. Africa has gained independence much earlier, and we are now in a position where we're realizing that, hey, we've got everything we need, basically what Gaddafi said, and we can basically, have our own currency and basically get to where we need to be or be alongside first world countries. Anyway, Gaddafi was assassinated, and we all know who did that because it was seen as a threat to first world countries. And that's when I realized that, oh shit, this is why Africa will, for example, if we look at the African Union, sorry guys, I'm so sorry for using foul language, but if we look at the African Union, that is why there'll never sort of be unity. I mean, why is the African Union there right now? But it's because the African Union is infiltrated by Western opinions, and those Western opinions have been installed to keep barriers between African countries so that Africa will never lead or be in power. They want to basically destabilize us. They want to disable us. And I've been listening to everything, and according to the documentary that's trending, guys, we all know as Africans that's nothing new. But what is happening right now is neo-colonialism, where they are looking for black faces to put the blame on. But the actual truth is, the main culprits behind this is first world countries. But we as Africans are too afraid to say this. We are too afraid to say this because we are scared of what would happen to us. So we all just doing the same thing that the first world countries are doing. We hiding behind our own black faces, and we're just taking the fall. So my question would be, what would our solutions be as Africans? How do we move forward? How do we move forward? We need to start decolonizing our minds. And by starting to decolonizing our mindsets, we need to acknowledge that it is not our black people that are basically behind all of this. Neo-colonialism is happening in Africa in broad daylight. We are not free. And we are still basically having to fight for freedom, not only in South Africa, but the whole of Africa. So instead of putting the blame and degrading and dehumanizing one another and all our African leaders, yes, they're not in the right. But guys, let's be realistic. What does colonization do to people? It traumatizes people. Look at South Africa for once. We had 300 years of slavery. 150 years of that 300 years was under the British colony. 46 years of apartheid. And do you know what they gave us? They only gave us 7 years. 7 years to make up for 46 years of oppression. Now you tell me, how can 7 years rectify 46 years of oppression? This is only South Africa. Imagine the rest of Africa. Again, I would like to say that I am not making excuses for our African leaders. I'm just saying, let's look at the facts here. What has colonization done to African people? Colonization has traumatized Africans tremendously. And in my opinion, Africa needs healing because we are a very traumatized society. And to Africa's defense, if you look at Africa's history, we were never greedy people. We were never violent people. That's why we were traders. Africans were traders. And this is why I love history so much, because history basically defends Africans. We were introduced to greed through violence by colonialism. We were never part of this, guys. So again, I'm not making excuses, but I mean, it's going to take years. Once Africa has healed, only then could our leaders basically be better. And it's going to take healed leaders. But how can we be healed when we're still oppressed by the white supremacists and the white minorities of the world? I mean, they're still coming into our countries despite us having independence, and they still own half of our countries. So as Africans, we need to stand together and fight for Africa by force. Thank you so much, Twitcher.